I'm gonna just see if it's streaming. Just gonna work on the landing page today. I'm gonna stay here for 1.5 hours, I think. I checked it out how to put. I signed up for Google Analytics, but you need to have the link first. So you need to deploy the website before. Then after you deploy the website, you get the link for the website, and then you get the ID. So I'm gonna do that later. And here I was seeing that I did something wrong, which is that if you want to put a YouTube video on another site, you have to use something called an iframe. And I posted the URL for the video instead. Actually, the template that I got, he creates a component and then he puts the iframe on the component and press the properties of the iframe as props. And I just put the URL for the video itself, but it's a different URL that you get from the YouTube video. You have to go into here, then share, then embed, and then you get the iframe for the iframe link. And I think that's gonna solve the problem that I have there. And then this stuff is gonna go here and it's gonna become the source from the props that is passed. Okay, nice. So it works now. And then I also modify all the stuff. I removed the block from yesterday. I spent some time thinking about it and then I decided it's not worth it to try because I was trying to figure out a way to incorporate the way that I'm thinking about styling with the way that he designed the page. And I'm still not sure about the trade-offs. Actually, I am sure about the trade-offs, but I'm not sure which way is the best way to go about it. Because it's two different types of looking at the page. In the way that he did it, from my perspective, I think it encourages more to look at the page as a series of components, and then you're creating a structure that allows you to change all the components simultaneously along the page. But the way that I'm thinking more about it is thinking about the page as sections, because I want to be able to separate because the first thing that the person sees is the first page. And then if I put more content, then they're gonna see all the other stuff that is in the bottom. So I want to be able to think about it sequentially like this, where I'm first focusing on the part they're gonna see when they click, and then I'm separating by blocks horizontally instead of having the components all locked into the same thing. So I want to be able to change to make it the blocks separated horizontally and not integrated with the site, with the entire site. So that's the reason why I decided to delete the blocks, and then I also deleted some other stuff that I thought it was not that relevant. It's just components being passed around. And I think I'm also gonna delete this custom sign block, which comes from here. And I don't see the point of doing this, but maybe there is, but I don't think so. So I think I'm just gonna do it like this and then put the properties here. And I also deleted the JSX style stuff. Oh, there's a lot of what's the word? There's already a class there. Didn't realize. And this full width here, I think is gonna be unnecessary because I deleted the style JSX thing, because I think it's gonna be easier to just put the style on the apps.css file. And the theme file I like, because themes are something that I think more about structurally, because you want to maintain the same style along the page. I think it looks better. So I think for themes, it makes sense to integrate in this way where every component is connected with each other. But for the structure of the HTML, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because then it becomes really hard to move around the sections of the page. I prefer to think about it as blocks vertical and then one block on top of the other, or the bottom of the other. Yeah, so this property was being used because of the style thing. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then I'm gonna delete this thing here. Hopefully it doesn't change anything. Okay, looks like it didn't change. So what else? I also remove a bunch of stuff there that I'm not gonna use. So now I think what I'm gonna do is put this thing here on the right, on the left, and the image on the left, on the right, and make them big, and then put some copy on top of the button. And after that, I'm gonna search how to make it so that once they click and submit the email, then they get a zip folder. And I'm also gonna put the stuff that I'm gonna give as the bait, or what, however you wanna call that. I'm gonna make that as a zip. Yeah, so for this, I created this navbar, I think, class. No, this is the links in the top. Also, I have to think about what's the kind of stuff, because there isn't a lot of stuff that I want to put for this. So I think it just has to be as simple as possible, so I can put the link up and can start posting the videos on TikTok and then putting the link in the description. Yeah, so is this part here. So I'm gonna put a div around them. Like I said, I don't have experience with software design, so I know the theory about all, because I've studied about the model view controller and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to these things, in Next.js, I'm not really sure which way is recommended and the differences and trade-offs that people actually do in practice. So I'm not really sure which way is better. And then the image, I also traded that he created a component for making the images, but I switched to using the Next.js image instead. Yeah, so the first thing that I'm going to change is the height for the image. And then I need to put a class here, and then I'm gonna change the... Yeah, but I think that's the easiest way to do it. And so what can I give the name? I'm also realizing that maybe I shouldn't put the class name there for this thing here, because I'm already putting the name here. So I think I'm gonna change this first. I don't even have... So this class is not doing anything, I think. Well, let me remove and see what happens. So only the image changed, but because it changed, but the thing is still the same. Yeah, the other stuff. And this component, I think it makes sense to leave it as a component because there's a lot of information here. Then I'm gonna study more this once I style the thing. Yeah, so here I'm gonna put... this is what I was seeing. A sign up form. What name can I use here? Also, I'm not sure if there is things that are related to SEO when it comes to the name. I think I'm gonna ask this for ChatGPT as well. Choosing good class names for the Next.js application can help you improve SEO. Here are a few ways that class names can impact SEO. Help search engines understand the content and the structure of a website by using descriptive and relative class names you can give a search engine. Class names can be used to highlight important content. If you want to draw attention to specific content on your websites. A lot of contents, blah blah blah. What would be a good class name for a div that contains the first impression of a landing page with a sign up input and button on the left. Let me open this thing. I think I wanna emulate this thing here. That's what I'm trying to do. But here I'm not really sure if they put the image as the background. And that's what it looks like, I think. Yeah, so one way is to put the image on the left and then to make the background of the overall div the same. But then the image is gonna be I think I'll do the image separate. And then I'll just do like it is here. Oh, also I should probably change this for, or maybe in the about I put the contact. That's another thing that I wanted to do. I'm thinking about putting sign up div. Not sure if it matters that much also. I think this is the stuff that I'm lacking the most, which is understanding. I think also because it's kind of hard to find content about that. The how the names and the structure affect this SEO. I think I'm just gonna put sign up form div. Or maybe I can put sign up form and then access the form based on that. But I don't think that's a good idea because I might put this form on other places as well. So I think it's a better way to separate the logic. I like the idea of leaving this as a component. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but that's not good. So let me think. One thing I can do is use space between and then put them separately. And then I think that's what I'm gonna do actually, now that I think about it. Because the other way would be to modify the divs on each one individually. Not the divs, but the elements here, the image and the sign up form. Also think I'm gonna increase the width by this much. Yeah, but ideally the image would be more on the left, so I think I'm gonna do space between. I think it's on justify content. Yeah, this looks more like this one. Obviously the image is gonna be different. Yeah, maybe let's see if I put another text here. If it's gonna. Yeah, I have to put another div between them because when I put the text, it's gonna fuck it up, I think. I'm also gonna have to think about copy. I think I'm gonna use ChatGPT to help me, but I have to be careful. I don't think maybe there is a problem, but I think it's unlikely that you will have a problem for using copy for simple things like this. For using ChatGPT for copy for simple things like this because it's not like people can copyright simple stuff. It's only for if you're writing articles, then I think you should be concerned. But for things like this, I think it's fine. Something that I saw on another page that I'm also thinking about emulating that I think has good copy. Yeah, this is what I thought. So I'm gonna have to put this stuff on a div and then put the other thing on a div as well. The image. Yeah, there we go. Oh, their responsiveness is gonna be a pain in the ass as well. The most annoying things are navbar dropdown, which is really annoying to do. the little hamburger or whatever you call that, that becomes the navigation when the thing is shorter. And I think if I change this to flex, it's gonna change the play as well, the player. Yeah, but this doesn't look bad actually, except the video. I think it's fine. So let me show the page that I'm talking about. I think it's Dan Cole, his name, Dan Cole. I think YouTube recommended me his videos on my other YouTube channel, YouTube account. And this thing here. And then I looked at this landing page and I thought that it was really, and he seems he knows what he's doing. And then I spent some time looking at this, and I think this is the kind of thing that I want to achieve, because I think it's very simple and it has to be something that is minimalistic, but it's not. But it looks like you put some effort, not some. I think that's the best style for pages. So I think I'm gonna use this as a template to create. Once I expand the products that I'm gonna give on the landing page, I can create the copy. And then once I get testimonials as well, then put the testimonials there. But this is obviously for a paid thing, so. But I'm gonna use the same template probably for this and the stuff that I'm doing here for all the other stuff that I build, so it saves me time. And I have to spend some time thinking about, yeah, studying this from the marketing perspective of what emotions. I think he first puts what you're gonna get out of it. Then later on he handles the objections, which is these questions here. So I have to spend some time thinking about the position of the person that is gonna sign up for the thing. What are their problems and what are the pain points? So first you talk about the things that they're gonna get, then you handle objections, then you put testimonials, I think. And then you put the offer again after that, I think. He also talks about himself here. But the biggest problem and the thing that I don't know is how to do this when you don't have experience. Like going from the 0 to 1, which is my case. Okay, if you don't have the testimonials, what do you do instead of putting that? And I think what I'm gonna do is just put focus on what they're gonna get and the objections and questions, I think. And then for the testimonials in the future, I think probably the best strategy is to create a component and then you map over the component and you do like he did here, which is put each thing on a card. Yeah, this looks really good. I wanted to do something like this, emulate this. Because it looks like it is whoever did this is mapping through components, and then they probably have the card of the thing. And inside of the card, they are putting all this information, and then the data changes depending on the testimonial, but the stuff is the same, and they probably have a database for handling that. Yeah, the only thing here that is hard is that I can't select just this thing because it only allows me to select the outside div. Here it doesn't show anything. It looks like it's changing there, but doesn't show it being highlighted. And this is this part here. The text has to be on another div. Yeah, well, I'll think about this later. And to me, the most interesting parts of doing this so far are these two things, which is one, thinking about the copy, and then two, thinking about the SEO, from developing from a standpoint of making the site more marketable. Those things are really interesting to me.
Landing pages are super.
So what else I want to do there? I think I'm gonna put another picture already, just so I have a better idea of how it's gonna look like. So what I'm gonna do, I think I still have probably 3 things on DALL-E 2, not sure. But if not, then I can try to use Stable Diffusion or something else. Search for an ML model. And what I'm gonna do is try a bunch of different prompts and then get a bunch of different images and use that for the site, for the image there. I'm gonna do this. It's logging on the thing. Yeah, there we go. I don't have a lot of experience with prompt engineering. So, and also I have to think about what would be, this is the stuff that I have to study more, is what would be how to think about it. Because so far I've been studying all this stuff a lot, but from the developer's perspective, which is more technical. And I'm not thinking about the perspective of the way that things look and the psychology perspective of things. Also, another interesting thing is going to be the data, obviously. That, to me, that's the most interesting thing, actually. Once you get the data, then analyzing the data and connecting that with human behavior and psychology. Not really sure. Oh, okay. I was going to say that it was highlighted there. But... So the question that I have is, what kind of images I think are going to be better to put here to convert more? And how can I answer that question? Because it has to be something that makes the person think about the results or alleviating the pain point. And the only thing I can think about now is a bunch of robots or stuff like that. And also, I don't know about a bunch of other. Maybe I should search for these things and try to see. I know this guy. I think I've seen some videos, but I don't know of many people that have landing pages, so I can get an idea of what they usually do. they usually have a course or something that is slightly different. Or maybe this one. So here there's a picture of a book. These kinds of pictures are good actually. Maybe I'll start with this one. Yeah, I have to study keyword research, I think, to find what keywords. Yeah, for these kinds of things, I'm not gonna be doing anything. Uh, I think it's more about thinking about it, not really doing, because the whole process is putting yourself in the position of the person. That's the difficult part, is trying to create in your mind the archetype of person that is gonna be benefiting from this the most. And then putting yourself in the position and understanding what kind of things are going to solve their problems, what are their pain points, stuff like that is a lot more about thinking, because I have to think about the intention of what is someone that I'm trying to solve the problem for is going to search for in the search engine. Like what kind of keywords they're going to use. It's going to depend on the intention they have. And that intention is related to the problem I'm fixing. But that's the part that is difficult because I don't have a very good idea of what the market is looking for. So trying to fit what I'm doing now to what the market, because that's the problem. I think most people, for this stuff that I'm offering now, most people don't know that they need it, let's say. Because when I was starting out, that's basically what I did with the videos. I thought about what would I want to have when I was starting out, and that was the comparison of the JavaScript and in Python, because that would save me a lot of time in understanding things, because that would allow me to see what's common between them, and then it would become much easier to understand what is fundamental and what is not about programming, and how these languages are very similar. And then you improve a lot of time, you learn a lot faster because you are comparing the two, and you are also at the same time becoming better understanding the fundamental differences. But the problem is that someone that is starting out doesn't have this idea, I think. So the challenge is trying to think about offering in a way that someone that is starting out would look for, but at the same time not clickbaiting them into getting something that is not what they are expecting, let's say. And it's very hard to think about that, about a good way to do this. So, desk with smartphone, laptop, work. This is something that I think I tried before. The thing that just came into my mind is a picture from the Limitless movie. That I think would be a good idea. But I think I tried to do that with the prompt, but it doesn't work that well because the prompt doesn't have that kind of abstraction, I think. The DALL-E doesn't have that kind of abstraction. It's more based on the syntax. So you can't really yet get the concept of the movie and incorporate it into the image. I think sometimes you can, but it really depends on how you design the prompts, I think. Another thing that I saw is people putting this digital art, and sometimes it looks better if you do it like that. Yeah, these ones I was attempting to get something that is like an image of Python and JavaScript side by side, but it didn't work out. Yeah, this I was looking more for something like this, but it doesn't look that good. I think I might be better off to search on Google instead. Also, I need to put I need to change the style of these colors here, these texts. Let's try to change this for each one. And it's better, but it's too big. So maybe H2 or H3. I think I remember seeing something about Google Fonts. I think it's here. Yeah. So I might change the font as well. But this is the kind of stuff that I think is really annoying. And I have to search for someone that has experience with this kind of stuff to know what are the fonts that convert better. Also think I'm gonna put that this class here, either this or the other one, into the div, so it looks better. Did it change anything? It doesn't look like it changed the color. Oh, it's just the color of the text. The one that I'm looking for is for the background color. Yeah, this doesn't look good. I can obviously test as well, multiple different things. Just see what works best. Let's try this one. Once I have the thing running, then obviously if I leave it with a color, I'm just gonna remove the margin and then add padding so that the whole div is filled. I don't like this. So I'm gonna change for this, and here I'm gonna change the color itself, I think, from this thing here. I changed this one to black and it was white smoke, so I think I'm gonna change this for white smoke as well. I think this looks fine. And there we go. Can barely see the difference, but yeah, I think it looks slightly better this way. And I'm gonna put some padding or margin on the video as well and change the picture size. Not the picture size, the video size. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put media control there, or however you say that. I think there is this thing here, so that it changes the size, or maybe not. Maybe if I put the flags there, it's gonna work. Let me see how. Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, so there isn't a class for this thing. Also can remove this. So I'm just gonna put the class here and then make it flags. Yeah, there we go. And then now I'm gonna increase the size of the main thing here. I just realized that the sign up form is way down here, so I'm gonna put this on top there. Oh, I forgot to put the thing here. I like to do like this because then it is easier to find on the CSS page later. If I put everything sequentially, I know that the CSS for the elements that are on the bottom are on the bottom of the file, and then if they're on the top, then they're on the top. Yeah, so I didn't put, I think this is the div, and I didn't put any I just put the height and width for the image here. That's another thing that's I think I usually end up doing pixels, but I think for responsiveness is better to do it in VH, which is viewport, I think, or view height, which is more responsive, I think, but I'm not really sure. Or in percentages as well. Percentages, I know that it is responsive. Hmm. And I also faced some problems like this in the past with both height and width that I didn't know what was wrong with it. It's kind of weird. And sometimes it doesn't work for whatever reason. Maybe it's the browser, which is another pain in the ass when you're. Yeah, this thing has to change as well. Because when I do this, it has to go to the bottom, I think. Or the text has to go to the bottom. Let's see here what happens. But this one is different, but yeah, the thing is on the top, which I think it looks better actually. So in mine, the image would be in the top, and then the text with the thing. And this is gonna be annoying to do. I think I'm gonna focus first on this, and then I think about the other one. I think it's better to separate them. To think about it as separate things. So here I'm gonna put 80%. I'm gonna use percentage since I'm using percentage for the width. And I don't understand why this is highlighting. It's probably something. Oh, this is something from Google Analytics, and I just left it like this because I removed the stuff that he did with the ID. So this I'm gonna leave for later. Sure. Once I deploy the website and I have the Google ID, I'll think about this kind of stuff. I also don't understand why this is a lot smaller than the other one. Yeah, I think I need to also incorporate this thing here, which is because he has three different texts. Because this looks a lot more empty. I don't know how to describe it. It looks a lot more. And this, I think, because the difference of the text, it looks better because it looks like it's more professional. Also, the styling of the text here. But then, what should I write? And maybe if I put this on a span as well. Because, yeah, obviously, because this is not included on the H3. It's obviously gonna be smaller. Yeah, now doesn't look better, but I think for this I'm gonna watch videos um, about. I'm gonna search and study videos about just this thing of. I've seen a lot of videos about copywriting, but I've never searched, I think, or maybe I did, but it was hard to find. Search for videos that are on the intersection between this, between developing and the copywriting. So, for example, what fonts to choose, what images to choose, that kind of stuff. I haven't seen a lot of videos about that. I'm gonna look for the image that I'm thinking about on Google and see which results are better. This is, I think, is something that is closer to what I'm looking for. But the images that I'm thinking about in my mind are cleaner images. And this has the watermark. Uh, it's not what I'm looking for. Maybe if I search for videos instead. Hmm. Yeah, this stuff is hard to do because you need to use Canvas, I think. Yeah, for the animations you use Canvas. And Canvas is complicated to do with Next.js or React because you have to think about the rendering of the tree. And there are some libraries, but I remember trying to do stuff with Canvas and it's complicated with React. Yeah, but here, there's this thing here. There's this alert. It looks really good, obviously. Yeah, maybe I should put something like this, a headline or something like that here. Something like this. Yeah, now it looks slightly better. I have to think about the font. And maybe I think I'm gonna put the for free on another thing here. And I'm also gonna make it bigger. Because I think that looks better. If it's highlighted. Yeah, now I wonder if I can just inspect here and get the font size, the fonts that he did here. I didn't think about that. Open sans serif. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Maybe I don't need to create different classes. I can just use the selectors. If I remember correctly, I think it's like this. But the thing is that I'm putting this stuff here on the thing. Yeah, so instead, it makes more sense based on this logic to instead of doing that, I just put the things here, obviously. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, this works as well. But it's just a different logic for a different type of design decision, I think. I don't think it changed much there, but maybe it doesn't work. Oh, I also forgot to see. It's just a paragraph, it's not H1. I think I'm just gonna copy the structure from this one here and the classes. The way, because I think this looks really good. And the only thing that I'm gonna change is the highlighting and the text, obviously. What else I was thinking about? Oh, the image. Yeah, this one looks the best so far. I think I'm just gonna get this one for now, and then try to get more later. Let's see. I can also hire people on Fiverr to do this. it is cheap, I might do it. But I think for now it's probably not worth it. It probably changed the name for PNG. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. But now it looks terrible. Yeah, much better. But it doesn't look that good. That's the problem. I think the reason why it doesn't look that good is because the background image has a different thing here than this image. So it doesn't blend together. I think this part it looks a lot better, obviously, than the beginning. Could just change the text. And there isn't much I can code, obviously, because the code part is really easy. It's more about spending time brainstorming and trying to think about what is going to look better and then and then after that I think it's easier to incorporate. And the navbar, I think that's enough. It doesn't need to be. I think it looks good like this. Just gonna change for contact instead of about, I think. And this part I think also looks good. I'm just gonna add the icons for the social media. Yeah, maybe this doesn't look that bad as but I know that I have to think about a way. There's two different ways. One is to find an image and put it as the background of the entire thing, and then figure out how to highlight the text from the image. And that's gonna be slightly difficult because then I have to figure out or find an image that is gonna have enough space to put here. And I also don't like this image that much. I have to think about. I think what I'm gonna do is search for a day in the life of a developer or something like that, where they post shots of their stuff, and then I would take a screenshot of the setup or something like that. Yeah, I think that's the better idea probably. Like stream setup or developer setup, something like that. Yeah, here I think the structure is always the same. It looks like. So it explains what the person is gonna get, the benefits. Then it uses a technique that realistically, obviously, it wasn't $500 and then went down to 345. They just a lot of Shopify sites have that as well. It's just a technique to because you put the discount and it looks better. And there's also here some pressure with the time that a lot of them do put fake deadlines and things like that. But then obviously you have to be careful with that because if you overuse that stuff, then it loses the meaning because everyone knows that you're just faking the thing. So I do believe that a lot of them do this, but they do it for real and they just strategize the business model based on these limit time frames and then creating multiple different products or versions, I think. Which is may or may not be something that I do as well. How should you think about it? Yeah, maybe yeah, I think I'm gonna write this down. So this is a good idea. Uh, to explain why we created this spreadsheet. Obviously, for this stuff, I don't think I'm not doing this only for this page. It's more thinking about the template for the future. Once I build up a bunch of things, then I'm gonna keep the same structure, but then increase the or change the copy accordingly to how much stuff that I'm giving or what I'm giving or selling. Maybe I'll do like she did there, and that's just the iframe stuff. Then after this, yeah, more benefits, more benefits. And then who is it for? This is another good question to put there, I think, in the bottom. Then handle objections. And these I'm not really sure about. And then the testimonials. And why learn for me. And they both have this thing of talking about who they are and why they are qualified to teach. So maybe I should do that as well. I think I'm gonna put this at the bottom here. And then here, what I'm gonna write is the YouTube, and then already plug the other channel as well. I think I'm gonna add another embed, another iframe here with the embeds for my channel, for one of the videos of my channel. And this is a good idea as well. Should put other stuff on the page. But this I think is related to the what she's doing, but I just thought about. But maybe it isn't a good idea because then there's this paradox of choice of the more choices you have, the more difficult it becomes to make a decision because you becomes dispersed. And also there's a limit between there's a cap of the amount of people you can hold a conversation with, which is 4 people. So if you're in a group of 5 people, then the conversation is going to break into 2. And 4 is the maximum that a group can hold a single conversation. And I think this is related to the paradox of choice as well. So I think the optimal number of decisions is probably anywhere from 2 to 4. So, but I'm not really sure. It's probably not precisely 3 or 2. I think any of these numbers, and then it probably works like a gradient of where more choices you have, the more dispersed you become, and the less likely it becomes you make a decision. So I think that this is probably related to the design of the funnel as well, because it's just movement of energy, I think. Because a funnel is literally that. I think that's just how gravity works as well. It's probably, if you think about it, a sea, and then you have those, I don't know what the name of, it's kind of like a vortex or something like that. I think that's how it works, where the internet is the sea, and then these funnels are like vortex. And that's why they raise exponentially. And usually the curve of success is the same thing, which starts very linearly, and then there's an exponential rise. And I think that's related to gravity. Because the way that human beings work, we work through habits, so we try to minimize energy and risk. So the patterns of behaviors that people have are in sync with the environment that they live, and it becomes more and more difficult to do different decisions the more time you are alive, because those decisions you made so far kept you alive. So there's a bunch of rationalizations to keep doing the same things. And that's why people engage in groupthink and also rationalize and stay on the same patterns of behavior. A lot of times, the longer you stay with a pattern, the more gravitational force it has, and it becomes a part of your identity structure. So your identity itself is like a funnel. And I think that's the reason why sales funnels work very well, because they're mimicking this behavior of putting someone in a feedback loop system of patterns of behaviors that are going to make them part of a brand identity. And that's why people pay a lot of money to advertising, because they're trying to generate more gravitational force into their funnel, which becomes the mass and becomes the company, and then it becomes this vicious cycle, because it doesn't, in order for the system to keep going, you can't stop, it has to grow forever. And there's no nuance on the contraction and expansion is not well regulated. So yeah, but that's a bunch of other things. Yeah, so what I was gonna look for is for day in the life of a developer, or my work setup as a developer. Something like that that has nice images like this. I think that's the reason why these things generate a lot of views. People are drawn to the money and the idea of the lifestyle. So, and of being in this nice office. And I think that it's probably a good idea to put an image like this here. So maybe I should increase the size of the div, because what might be making this not look so great is because this video shows up here. Yeah, but here he also has this thing. Oh no, only when you do it. I think like this is better. And I can also create this thing here and put a picture of me, but I don't think I'm gonna do that now. I think there's a picture of someone else, it's just a testimonial. Maybe what I should do actually is, yeah, the question is when should I do that? I'm thinking about creating a spreadsheet with keywords and going through this thinking process, and then researching the funnels and creating another spreadsheet with the funnels and the links. And that's something that I can also potentially market later once I gather all these funnels and then study all of them. Which should do pretty much what I'm doing with programming, but with marketing, of extracting the fundamentals and then seeing the nuances. Damn, 31 million views. That's crazy.
Hi, my name is Marsh.
I think that's the most viewed video I saw from something related to programming. I think I already looked at this. And so, yeah, he has a pop-up. I don't like this, but they probably do it because it increases sales, so I might do this in the future as well. But I hate when websites have this stuff. It's really annoying. So I'm probably not gonna do it, but maybe. We'll see. Yeah, first is what you're gonna get again. Oh no. Then it explains who he is, why he's qualified.
Hi.
Also gotta search for how to put these other players here. It's probably an HTML thing. Wisha responsive wrapper. Yeah. So it's an API, pretty much. But I probably won't be able to do it because you have to pay. So I start with the YouTube and then eventually I move on to this stuff. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna do courses or things like that, so it might not be needed. Who is this course for? Yeah. They talk about the requirements as well. But this is oh fuck. I think this one is the one that looks the best.
Okay. I'm Kevin, 26 years old.
Process that took a long well, I'm a bit scared of getting, and honestly, I really was legit ordered on Amazon. The only thing I'd say that sucks about making desktop makeovers are they truly deliver hands-on and structured. Have a curriculum for data science, cybersecurity, and GroupMate laptops stand for work purposes. I will admit the new Sonos lamp has no correlation to work. I got this lamp for decoration and because the speakers sound so good. I placed it along with his camera and one of the IKEA plants we got. On the other side, well, the NZXT custom build was placed. I will say though, to see his day in the life as a software engineer at Expedia, make sure to stay tuned. I'm signing out, guys. I need some sleep. See you all next week. Take care. Easier. It's definitely what I tried doing here, so let's hope it works for Kevin. You guys can definitely check out his channel. Tech reviews are coming up. And if you want to see his day in the life as a software engineer at Expedia, make sure to stay tuned. I'm signing out, guys. I need some sleep. See you all next week. Take care. A great job at delivering this.
And the problem is I don't want the people in the image. I wonder if I can download the thumbnail. Oh, I think maybe with vidIQ. It doesn't show anything. Probably because I'm blocking with the other stuff, but yeah, this image is really good as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a great set of holidays and are back recharged and energized to make some epic progress in your software engineering careers. And to help you with
I'm
that, I
thinking
have
about taking a picture of the thumbnail, but it might be because the image might lose resolution because the thing is small. Maybe if I do like this. The problem is these edges as well. Hmm. I think I'll do like this, and I'm gonna put the background as
Driving more
black.
traffic, more click.
Fuck. Because of the edges here, if I put the background as black, then it doesn't matter. So I think I'm gonna probably do that. I'll be right back. And maybe I should spend time figuring out the database stuff and the zip first before focusing on that. I think I'm getting the things twisted here. So focus on the functionality first, and then I'll focus on this. And that's what I'm talking about there. Let me change the background to white. Not white, black. It still is not the same. I also downloaded an extension, so I'm gonna use this now. Which is this color picker. Maybe this is also a good thumbnail as well. Oh, I have it on the other browser. So let's just use this instead. Hmm. It's crazy how many colors they has on the website. You don't realize it when you're using, but there's a lot of nuance on the colors. I'm trying to figure out the color of this thing here at the end, because when I take the picture, then I want the background of the thing that I'm doing here to merge with that so that you can't see here. I can also edit this on Paint as well. I think that's a better idea. Yeah, I'm gonna edit this stuff on Paint later. So let me focus on the stuff that matters for now, which is the sign up form and how to... I think I'm gonna set up a database. So that's what I'm gonna search for now. And there's this video about that guy. I think it's this one. Oh, maybe I think I have the code on the other project. Just gonna copy this. It's on the main folder. Yeah, but this is not the server. It's just to set up the database. I don't remember if it does the server on the tutorial. I don't think it does. So I'm gonna have to search for that, but I know roughly how it works. You use Express. I'm just thinking whether or not I should separate these files, because I think you probably yes. but I'm not really sure. Yeah, this is the migrations of the database. So I think on every event you change this, or you use this to change the database. I think I'm gonna watch videos for that. It's better to do this stuff off stream. And that's what I'm gonna focus now. After I get out of here, I'm gonna focus on finishing the database. I'm gonna finish the database and search for how to put the stuff on the... Where is the sites? So how to make it so after they click the button, then and puts an email. Interesting. I wouldn't have to search for this as well. They put a real email. Yeah, something is wrong. It's not working with email. But I'm gonna make it so that after they put the email and sign up, then the email is written to the database, and they receive the information that I'm going to give to them. So I'm gonna focus on just these two things now right now. And then if I have time, I don't think it's gonna be too complicated, so I probably will have time, but I'm not really sure. But if I do have time, I think I might come back and then study the marketing aspect of this, because I think is interesting, of the copyright and selecting the images and the Google part, analytics, things like that. I think what I'm gonna do is study other funnels and do the spreadsheet thing that I was talking about. Build a list of different funnels and put the sector that they are at, the link for the funnel, write down the structure, and then create a spreadsheet like that, and then try to extract what is fundamental, what are the questions they always ask, what kind of keywords they are using. And maybe I can also build, yeah, that's a very good idea. Like after I do that, I can build something on Python that reads the thing and puts all the keywords on a dictionary and add that to account. So I can create a database of the text of each section of things by going through all the sites manually. And then after that, I can create a Python script that makes us a count of the keywords that they use the most, and then try to incorporate that on my text. And maybe try to use ChatGPT to create copy that has those keywords incorporated. And then also do some SEO search or with the Google engine to try to see what kind of keywords, do keyword research and then see how those keywords are correlated. So there's a bunch of stuff to do, obviously. The other thing that I think is interesting that I remember that I said that I would do, but I'm not really sure, is the network X graph. Because for doing all these methods, I created all the files and the code, and I wanted to do some network X stuff where it shows each method and then shows all the methods on the graph and highlights them. But I think it might be better to do later, or might not be better to do it at all. Depends on how things go, I think, because I'm not really sure how useful that is gonna be. I have to think more about that, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it or not. Yeah, but I'm gonna focus on this stuff, and then I'll probably come back and study all the marketing stuff